Okay, welcome to our tutorial about scene by scene animation, or how to include scenes in your animation. So basically, first I would like to show you a simple animation here. Just a simple animation where a circle is passing by from left to right, and when I play this, we're just seeing just a normal circle going on from left to right. And this is an example where we only have a single scene. If you noticed, every time you create an animation, you're always seeing this scene 1. Okay, so basically this animation is under scene 1, and this example doesn't have any additional scenes integrated, so only just a single scene. So let me discuss what scene is, or what are scenes actually. Okay, so scenes are actually like pages in Adobe Animate. Okay, so you can create multiple scenes, like you can create an animation where an apple is being animated on a single scene, like scene 1, and then you can create another scene, let's say an animated lemon, another scene for animated carrots, and so on. And then again, they act like pages in Adobe Animate, and keep in mind that each scene has their own timeline. Okay, this is way different from symbols. Okay, we're talking about scenes like actual pages. So let me show you this. So to access scene panel, we'll be using scene panel for this. So to access that, you can always just click window and then find scene on here. Okay, if you're using an older version of Adobe Animate or maybe Adobe Flash, you might be seeing other panels. Just find other panels somewhere here, and then you can see the scene panel. But in Adobe Animate, scene is actually visible on here. Okay, so let me click this scene, and then as you can see, I have this scene panel already attached on my panels here. So this scene, as in scene I renamed with demo, has these contents. When I click this another scene, scene for apple, you'll see here that it has its own timeline, and it displays the apple for almost 2 seconds. I can switch between scenes just by clicking my scenes for this scene panel. Okay, so this is actually scene panel, and these are the scenes. If you notice, the scene 1 here that we usually see is being changed based from the scene name that we assigned. Okay, so again, they act like pages in the Adobe Animate. And then when you compile all of these scenes and then you play your animation, they are automatically being played from top to bottom. Let me show you an example. Okay, so I have an animated version of this character, and then I also applied scenes here. I have 4 scenes, and each scene has different background, different animation, and okay, like that. Now let me control enter or play this movie, so to see an example of animation with scenes. So this is actually scene 1, and then this one is scene 2, this is scene 3, and then scene 4. So you see, by using scenes in Adobe Animate or even Adobe Flash, you can actually create multiple pages of animations, and then they are being compiled in a single file. Okay, I also applied scenes on this example. So this one is an interactive app that tells the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I also used multiple scenes here And take note that scenes are being played from top to bottom. So if you're going to like arrange these scenes, let me show you that. So if I'm going to drag the scene 1 below scene 2, then the animation or the flow of your movie will go on how they are being arranged. Okay, so let me arrange that back. So that's how you arrange scenes. Okay, we can also create scenes by clicking this button. We have this add scene, and then this one is duplicate scene. Duplicate scene is usable if you're going to like duplicate the contents. You're going to reuse the contents of the previous scene, and you can also delete any scene or any unwanted scene. Okay, so let's have an example, and let me try to create an example. So for example, I have this Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So when I click each buttons like next or previous, it goes to the next scene. So scenes are really usable, especially to interactive animations or interactive apps like this. So like the usual story of Goldilocks, the bears came home, they found out that Goldilocks is sleeping on their bed, and then Goldilocks ran away when they see her, and then yep. So let's create maybe a sample animation using scenes, and let's try to reuse some of these characters. Maybe let's try to create a continuation of this. Okay, let's start. Okay, so let's try to create a new file, and you can always click any options from here. Just always choose ActionScript 3.0 so you can play your animation on your own computer even without internet, because choosing HTML5 canvas will require to connect to the internet and then load the necessary files to load JavaScript files or so forth. Okay, so let's continue. In my case, I already have this scenes blank.fla where I already imported my files or assets, so I can create this animation easily. So those assets were all from my previous project. Okay, so let's start. So on this new file, let me drag this background. Okay, so maybe let's try to create a continuation of the Goldilocks and the Three Bears by using this file. Okay, so let me create a layer for PG and then create another layer. Maybe we can use this to create an external background like that. So basically I'm creating this shape. Let me align that to stage, match width and height, and then align it all of it to stage. Okay, so we have now BG2 and then the actual background that we have. Let me add at least frames up to 10 seconds. So insert frame, and then let me lock BG2. So BG3, this one. Okay, this one is already a graphic symbol, so let me animate that. I would like to show you that someone is walking here, or imitates the walking animation here by moving this background. So from frame 1 we have a keyframe, and then for frame 10 let me create a keyframe where the background has already changed on this part. And then let me create a classic tween. Let me check that. So what we have now is we have like a moving background, and the story that I am creating is Goldilocks is walking in the forest somewhere, and then she finds a chair in the middle of the forest. Okay, so let's add Goldilocks now. So I'm going to add a layer, and then at frame 1 from my library I have this movie clip. So this movie clip is actually animated. So when I double click this, you'll see inside of this movie clip that it has this animated motion. So let's go back to scene 1, and then maybe I'm going to change the size of Goldilocks a bit, and then let me place Goldilocks here, right there. So Goldilocks from frame 1 is placed right here. Let's try to place her somewhere here. Okay, and then Control Enter. So Goldilocks is walking, and then she finds a chair. Okay, so next is we're going to use scenes now. Okay, so on my next flow of this story is Goldilocks should be sitting on that chair now for scene 2. So let me create a scene. So I'm going to click this, add scene, and or I can actually duplicate that scene. Maybe that's more usable, but well, for this example we can just use add scene for now. Let me add that background again, and then let's change the size a bit. Okay, something like that. Okay, and then that would be BG1, and then let's create another BG, which is BG2. Maybe I can just copy the one that I have from the scene 1. So let me copy that, and then I'm just going to paste it here. Alright, so we have BG2, we have BG1. I can lock them actually. Let's create more frames here. The problem here is if I'm not going to add some frames for a scene 2, and when I hit Control Enter, you'll see that Goldilocks for 10 seconds will be walking in the forest, but after scene 1 we can see just a glimpse of scene 2, and that's so fast because there's only one frame for scene 2. So let me add additional frames there so we can avoid that problem. So insert frame on frame 9, and let me add Goldilocks here. So from my library I already have that animated character where she is just sitting and enjoying the chair like that. Okay, so Control Enter. So Goldilocks for 10 seconds is walking in the forest, and then she's now sitting in that chair. Maybe let's try to add some additional flow of this story. Let me add the burst on this scene. Okay. So from my library, I already have the bears here, like that. Okay, so they are on a separate layer. Let me transform them horizontally. Maybe on this story, the birds will try to find Goldilocks, and then maybe they'll come out like under 4 or 5 seconds. Let's try at 5 seconds. And maybe we should show that the birds are like walking from here at 5 seconds up to frame 9, where frame 9 is here. Okay, so we can move now here. I'm just going to use another classic tween for this example. Let me remove these extra frames. Okay, and then let's create a classic tween. So we are seeing now scene 1, and then after this scene 1, we'll be seeing scene 2 where Goldilocks is enjoying her chair, and then after that the bears are coming in. Okay, so the animated bears are basically like this. So I have two keyframes inside of this symbol, and then the symbol just being animated automatically. It loops automatically. So okay, we have that imitation that the birds are like walking. So now we have the story. Scene 1 is walking. Scene 2, Goldilocks found the chair, and then the bears came in. Next is, let's create another scene. Maybe I can just duplicate scene 2 for now. So duplicate scene 2. Oops. And then let's rename this as scene 3. Let me remove the bears layer for now. And then for the background, maybe I can zoom this a bit. So I'd like to show you like the idea where the face of Goldilocks is being zoomed. Okay, let me try to change it into another asset that we have here. So Goldilocks was like shocked that the bears came in. Alright. Okay, so for the scene 3, I think 9 seconds is too much. Let's reduce the time of this like 5 seconds only. So remove frames. And then if you notice, there's a problem a while ago. Okay, so when you are trying to check any changes that you did on your newly created scene, you're always going back to scene 1 when you hit Control Enter, right? So what if I will try to check my progress for scene 3. So when I hit Control Enter, of course, scene 1 will play, and then scene 2 will come in, and then after that we'll be seeing scene 3 finally. But in this case, we can just avoid that time consuming way. So I can just drag scene 3 on the top of this other scenes, so that when I hit Control Enter, we can see scene 3 automatically. Alright, so I guess the animation is good for that scene. Let me try to arrange it back. Let's try to add another scene now. Scene 4. This will be our final scene. Okay, so my idea here is, after the bears found out Goldilocks was in the forest, so Goldilocks should be running. Okay, so let me get this background, then let me paste them for scene 4. Alright. So let me align this main background of ours. So align to our stage, create another layer, and then just paste again the background that I got from library. Maybe this scene or this part. We can use this part as the background of Goldilocks. Okay. Of course, if you're going to try this, you can create your own background. I'm just reusing the assets that I have been using earlier, so it will be more faster to demonstrate this example. So another layer for Goldilocks, where she is running, like running for her life. Okay, so I'd like to create an animation here where Goldilocks is running from here, from frame 1, and then up to maybe frame 4. Let me create frames to frame 4, and then at frame 4, let me position Goldilocks here, somewhere here. Okay, and then frame 4, I'm going to drag Goldilocks here, and then let's change the size of Goldilocks into a bigger version. Okay, this animation is possible for Classic Tween if your asset is already a movie clip, or rather a symbol. So like, okay, Goldilocks is running for her life, and that's scene 4 that we have. Now let's maybe add additional layer, like final layers for this example. Maybe at frame 4 we'll start to display the end. Okay, so let me add additional frames here, like up to frame 10, and then starting here I can have like this shape. I'll try to use black. Let's resize this, match width and height for the stage, align, and then convert this into a symbol because I'd like to animate it later on. We can try movie clip for this panel, and for symbols you can check the properties of this symbol. We'll be using alpha, then we can adjust the transparency of that movie clip. Okay, so for this example I'd like to set the alpha of this into 0. I'll try to make it fade in somehow after maybe 1 second. So frame 4 we have, or maybe yes, here. So frame 4 we have that symbol alpha 0, and then at frame 5 let me click this frame, and then this symbol and then after that set alpha to maybe 70, like that. So just enough background for our text. Let me create another layer for the text. Okay, so I'm going to try to put the end here. Okay, I'm going to use white color. Okay, let me convert that into a symbol too. So simply just hit F8 when you click this. Now alpha 0 for this keyframe, and then at keyframe 5 let me click that symbol again, alpha, and then 100%, and then classic tween. So in that way the panel and the text are fading in after the exit of Goldilocks. Let me extend the frame of our panel until here, frame 10. Okay, cool. So let me control enter, test the movie. So this is scene 1 for 10 seconds. Goldilocks is walking in the forest, and then there was a chair. Okay, Goldilocks is sitting on the chair. Birds should come in. Goldilocks is shocked at scene 3. Then at scene 4, Goldilocks is running for her life. And the end. So that's how you use scenes. That's how you create an animation where you included multiple scenes inside of your single file. So in that way you can create a much larger animation or even interactive output using Adobe Animate CC. Okay class, that is our mini tutorial about scene by scene animation. I hope you've learned something here, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this, and see you again next time.